Hello, I'm Adam and welcome to my garage. It's part 3 of the top end rebuild with my Suzuki vs750 engine. Today I'm going to be stripping down my cylinders, inspecting them and rebuilding them. If you wish to see any previous content, please check my page. If you wish to see any future content, please consider subscribing. Thank you. Now let's crack on. To split the cylinder heads apart, I first need to check down to the cam chain tensioner, which is actually bolted into the heads. I need to compress that spring, and the locking pin is there. I need to shove a cable tie into that to lock it into place. If I don't do that, I can't get the cylinder heads apart. So to keep tension on the spring, I've just used a big flathead screwdriver, and down there just wedged it in so that the spring's fully compressed. And then I've used a cable tie, which I've had to file down at the end just to slot it into the groove, to keep the locking mechanism in place. Now I can remove the heads. Now I just need to get this special G-clamp, take the valves out. So I just need to compress the spring. And get these collets out. Now I've got all the valves removed, I can replace all the seals. They're easy to come off. Should just pop off. After taking the valves out, I've put them in a box and labelled them so I know exactly where they go back in. Now that I've stripped the head, I can concentrate on the barrel and piston. So let's get the piston out. Now the piston's out, I'm just going to check the ring gap, which one snapped as I was trying to get it out. Should be between 0.2 and 0.35. So around 0.55, which is now double the size of where it's meant to be. So now I need to hone the barrel a bit, so I'm just going to oil it up and hone it out, and then I'm going to clean everything up, and I've got some new piston rings, which wasn't cheap for a Suzuki vs750. Compared to an 800 or a 600 or something, they were just extortionate money. But I had to get them, so let's crack on. So here I'm just honing the cylinder head out, making sure I get a nice cross hatch on the cylinder walls. And then I'm going to wash everything out, making sure I get any metal out, and then I can start rebuilding. Here's my new rings. Now that I've got the cylinder honed, I'm just going to check the ring gap. One is fatter than the other one, so make sure you put them in the correct order. And also the second one has top on it, so you know which side to put it in. And it should be between 0.2 and 0.35, and this one is 0.25. That one is also 0.25. So now I can reinstall the rings onto the piston. Just oil everything up first. So first, put the oil rings in. Coat them in oil. to have the gaps 180 apart from each other. And the thickest ring is the one that says top on it, which is your second scraper ring down. So make sure it's at the top. And the first ring doesn't have any markings on it. Now I'm just checking for any leaking valves. So I've just put the valves in without putting the springs on. I've filled the bowl up with WD-40, and if I get any wetness through the exhaust port or the inlet port, then I know I've got a leaky valve. So I'll check it again in about an hour. Now that I know that the valves seal, I've put the valves back in. I've put the cam chain tensioner back inside and the cam chain guide, and now I'm going to put the heads back together. I'm just going to run a bead of gasket down that's 315 degrees. Just helps this gasket here, because I don't think it's that brilliant really. And make sure you keep the zip tie installed. Now that they're married back together, I've just tightened the nuts up to 10 Newton meters. And that's one head complete. And that brings me to the end of this episode. I have recently sorted my front cylinder out as well, and my front piston rings were shot. They were actually snapped before I even tried to take them out. So in the next episode I'll be putting my cylinders back on the bike, timing the engine up, and hopefully getting it back in the bike. Thank you for watching. If you wish to see any previous content or any future content, please subscribe to my channel. It would be much appreciated. Thank you, and I shall see you in the next one.